The Eagles pulled off a steal of a trade by acquiring DAndre Swift on draft day, but what role will he play in this offense? Also, is one of the Georgia Bulldogs flying way under the radar this offseason? What is going on, everybody? Welcome into A to Z Philly, your number one home for Eagles coverage. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe and also ring that bell down below. That way you don't miss any of the coverage. RB back, bringing you another one from the link. And today we discuss a little bit into the Eagles offense and maybe one player on the defensive side who is going way under the radar this offseason, who could potentially have a breakout year. We will get into it all, but I want to know from you down below in the comment section, which Eagles player do you think is not getting enough credit right now? Who could have a breakout season? Let me know down below. Before we jump right into all our thoughts, shout out to our sponsor of today's video, BetMGM. Enjoy all your favorite sports like never before at BetMGM. Sign up using code ATOZPA and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you do not win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and daily boosted odds specials. And with BetMGM at your fingertips, every play and every game matter more than ever. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks. Sign up today with bonus code ATOZPA and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Pennsylvania only. New customer offer. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, let's jump into it. So I want to start off with actually a little cool story here, as it was A.J. Brown's birthday a couple days ago. Shout out to the Eagles stud wide receiver, A.J. Brown. But here was a video posted on Twitter from Ari Mirov, who actually talked about a little behind the scenes stories. And these are cool. You know, it would be really fun to spend a day in the offseason or during the draft or whatever with an NFL front office to see all of these little things that never happen, that never come to light. But, you know, there's so many behind the scenes stories like this that just never come out, but they're very cool to hear. And he actually talked about last year before the draft where the Eagles actually almost traded for two other wide receivers. They would have never had the opportunity to get A.J. Brown. I'm not going to play the clip, but he talks about the wide receivers, Calvin Ridley. We know what happened with that situation. And then Allen Robinson, who were both on the Eagles' radar. They never ended up pulling the trigger. They end up getting A.J. Brown on draft night, and you know the rest, man. What a story. And I am glad that they waited out because A.J. Brown has been exactly what this team needs. So happy belated to A.J. Brown and excited to see him have another great year. But let's jump in to another part of the Eagles offense. DAndre Swift and James Palmer here put this little clip on Twitter. He was on the NFL Network talking about what DAndre Swift can do for this Eagles offense. We've talked about it multiple times. You know, DAndre Swift being able to catch passes out of the backfield, bringing a dimension that the Eagles offense really has not had in recent years. They have had talent. They lost Miles Sanders in free agency, but they have added immense talent this offseason. And DAndre Swift getting him, you know, the hometown kid for just what, a 4th round pick and a pick swap. That is a steal. You look at the Detroit Lions, who had a promising year last year. They go out and they draft Jahmyr Gibbs in the 1st round. If they don't do that, they probably end up keeping DAndre Swift. Really, to me, this was just we're not going to be able to pay you after this year, even though he's only making, I think, $1 or $2 million in base salary. So we're just going to have to depart and get rid of you and try to get what we can. I'm surprised the Eagles got him for what they did. And I honestly think this is going to be one of the most valuable trades. I think DAndre Swift is going to come in. He's going to have a role. The balance between him, Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott, I think all these guys will have the opportunity to compete. And I think the Eagles always run by a committee which will fit right into this. And I think DAndre Swift being able to catch out of the backfield is going to be a reliable weapon for Jalen Hurts. But let's hear what James Palmer has to say about Swift.
Philly, and that was a big reason why they actually brought him in, because Howie Roseman and company have known DAndre Swift since he was in high school playing in Philadelphia at the Prep. And that played it.
And don't forget how he cooked the Eagles last year in week 1. But all right, let's go.
A role in bringing him in because they knew him as a player. And I say that because when this trade went down during the draft, they were going into the draft thinking, our running back.
Yeah, man, he's look at that. 156 receptions, 1,198 yards since 2020 with the Lions, 5th among running backs. This guy can bring a different dimension. And yeah, he's going to help change this Eagles offense. I mean, you look at what the Eagles are able to do. Essentially everything, right? Jalen Hurts can scramble if he needs to. He's always had, reliable running backs that, are not the biggest names other than Miles Sanders, but can provide value. And then obviously the Eagles in the passing game have all the weapons in the world with the wide receiver core, with Dallas Goedert. They can go deep. They can go over the middle of the field. They can do really whatever they want to with great pass protection from this offensive line. Now you add the one dimension that they really lacked, and now they can attack you from any part of the field, anywhere. They are going to have defenses off balance week in and week out. So he goes on to talk in this video about how essentially DAndre Swift has home run ability, how he can make the big play, and how he's very effective in the RPO game, which the Eagles will utilize a lot continuing forward. I think it's a perfect fit, and I think this is going to be one of those underrated moves you look back on, like how did Howie Roseman pull that off? But let's go and switch over to the defensive side of the ball, because an article was put out here on Sports Illustrated, and this is what the guy had to write about not Nolan Smith, not Jalen Carter, not Nakobe Dean, who we've obviously talked about a lot, who I think are going to play huge roles in this Eagles defense. But how about Jordan Davis, right? We've talked about the Georgia Bulldogs in the Eagles defense, but is Jordan Davis kind of going under the radar? Had a little bit of an underwhelming year last year, got hurt at one point and didn't get as many snaps as people would have liked for a first-round pick. But this guy here says that Jordan Davis will be, quote, a household name soon. Philly Eagles defensive tackle earned a spot on NFL.com's all-under-25 team, and an analyst claims he will soon be a league-wide star. If that happens, if Jordan Davis can make this jump, especially with some of these other Eagle players getting a bit older, and you don't know how much time they have left with the Eagles, I mean, Jordan Davis taking that leap is going to be very essential. And here's what he had to say. Davis gained recognition for his massive size, but he was still talented enough to be a highly touted first-round pick. He saw the field sparingly as a rookie, recording just 18 tackles and 1 tackle for loss, but he played a notable role in the Eagles' run defense. Davis playing as large a role as he did is still quite impressive. Heading into year 2, though, expectations are much higher for the former Georgia Bulldog, with the Eagles losing Javon Hargrave, Linval Joseph, and Adama Suh. Davis will see a much higher snap count than he did as a rookie. Hopefully he can get into better shape, lose some weight as well. If his performance in college is anything to go by, Davis should fit into this larger role very nicely, and they believe he will become a household name as he earned a spot on the site's all-under-25 team. Quote, Davis was playing an important but understated role for the Eagles last year, occupying blockers and stuffing run lanes. And I don't think this is a bad thing. I think when you're a team that goes to the Super Bowl, you have all this talent, you're a historic defense, there's just not room for everybody. And I think this is actually a great situation for where Jordan Davis came in and he could learn for a year and just pick up on a lot of pointers from guys like Fletch and BG, etc. Look no further than Philly's decision to hit the free agent wire and sign not 1 but 2 veteran D tackles to fill the void. When the rookie missed time with an ankle injury in the middle of last season, Davis will soon be a household name. I'll take the hat tips then. He may not stuff the stat sheet, but he plays a vital role. As a senior at Georgia, he recorded 32 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks, but he won the Chuck Bednarik Award as the top defensive player in college football and was the heart of the Bulldogs' top-ranked defense en route to a national title. Davis came so close to winning a chip and the Super Bowl in back-to-back years, but his Eagles fell just short in the big game. As he prepares to take on a larger role, he'll be looking to help the team avenge that bitter loss. And again, we've constantly harped on this winning mentality from the Georgia Bulldogs. So, imagine him, and obviously Nakobe Dean will evolve into a bigger role, and then you have the outstanding talent that is Jalen Carter hopping off the paper, and, Nolan Smith, who looks like he's about to take a jump already. I like what the Eagles are building, and I do think, honestly, it feels like Jordan Davis has gone a little bit under the radar. And I think once he comes out this year and, is finally ready for that year 2, he now understands the complexity of the NFL, and he now understands the culture of this Eagles locker room and how they are liking to do business, especially on the defensive side. And now with a new coordinator who hopefully will be more aggressive, I think Jordan Davis is going to, have a great year. This guy here says he's going to be a household name, so maybe people are sleeping on Jordan Davis overall. Once the Eagles defense gets into place, and I think all the pieces continue to come together and Sean Desai implements what he is trying to do, I think this Eagles team is going to have insane potential, because we know on the offensive side they're going to show up, and as long as their defense doesn't take any slippage, I think they're going to be, probably the best team in the conference, or at least one of them. So we will see how it plays out, but definitely excited to see whether the Georgia Bulldogs can translate together to the Philadelphia Eagles. We'll see how it all plays out. Give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that being said, I will catch you all on the next one. Peace.